Open University, IOU, Pakistan, Sindh Region, Student Committee. We welcome you warmly and pray this gathering becomes source of knowledge, barakah, positive change for all of us. Let me introduce you to my co-host and host, Asma Kurai, IOU Sindh Region. She is our Vice Chairperson of Sindh Region. She is doing BSc in Psychology. And myself, Sara Qureshi, IOU Sindh Region Chairperson, Masters in Islamic Studies. Let's talk about our founder and chancellor, Dr. Abu Amina Bilal Phillips. He is a Jamaican-Canadian Islamic scholar, converted to Islam in 1970. He did his BA in Islamic Studies, Medina of University, KSA. He also did his MA in Islamic Theology in King Saud University, KSA, and PhD in Islamic Theology, University of Wales, UK. Taught Arabic and Islamic Studies in high school and universities over 20 years in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Set up Islamic Studies Department in various universities, named in the 500 most influential Muslims publication, authored over 50 published Islamic books. Our university is accredited. The accreditation, the International Open University's undergraduate, postgraduate, master's degree and certificate have been recognized by universities, evaluation services, government and accrediting bodies in the various countries listed below. Let's hear it. Why should you join IOU?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before you go any further, I would like to share with you 7 excellent reasons why you should choose IOU for your knowledge journey. Reason number 1, Allah-centered. We have deliberately returned morality to its proper place in all of our classes and lectures. Reason number 2, affordable. We have made IOU unbelievably affordable so we can educate as many Muslims as possible among our ummah. Reason number 3, accredited. IOU is a Ministry of Higher Education accredited university. Reason number 4, accessible. You can study at IOU from your home or anywhere at any time. Reason number 5, authentic. We only teach authentic knowledge that is aligned with Islamic core values of the Quran. Reason number 6, awesome. IOU has the most diverse student body of any university in the world. So you will meet and interact with Muslim students from literally all corners of the globe. Reason number 7, accepting. Women in IOU are fully represented, and they have excelled beyond our wildest expectations. These are among the top 7 reasons why you should seriously consider enrolling in IOU, a modern, online, digital age university built on Islamic foundations.
Faculty and departments. Faculty of Arabic and Islamic Studies. We have Arabic, Islamic Studies, Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Department of Business Administration, Department of Economics, Banking and Finance, Education, Information Technology, Islamic Psychology. In these all, we have the program certificates, diploma, associate degree, bachelor degree, higher diploma, postgraduate certificate, and master's degree. We also have IOU Urdu short courses. We offer a variety of online courses tailored to your learning learning needs, including short intensive certificates program. Our Foundation of Islamic Studies FOIS program provides students with strong foundation Islamic sciences. We have qualified instructors, certificate courses, accessible 24/7, authentic Islamic knowledge, and affordable. For more information, please contact the number, our help desk, and you can also visit our website www.iourdu.com. We also have IOU subsidiaries, GQMC, Global Quran Memorization Center, and General Diploma in Islamic Studies, Ilm Institute, Solas Islamic Mental Health Services, which also provide counseling to the students of degree. These are our previous webinars. If you have missed any, you can go to our YouTube channel and look into it, inshallah. This is our upcoming event. We have written the QR code. Please scan that and join it, inshallah. This is also our upcoming event, Tote Bag and Tea, on Thursday, 18th September, inshallah. Please join us. To join us, you can scan the code and there's a number written. This is our upcoming webinar tonight. What is success? A single truth through many voices. Speaker Muhammad Umar Farooq Milki. And today's lecture, The Importance of Parental Involvement in Student Islamic Education by our speaker, Dr. Nousheen Zakaria. It is my great honor to introduce our respected speaker, Dr. Nousheen Zakaria, co-founder and principal of Sidr School. Dr. Nousheen holds a PhD in Strategic Human Resources Management from the University of Leeds, UK, and brings with her more than 15 years of international experience in education, entrepreneurship, and leadership. She is driving the force behind Sidr School's child-centric and values-based approach to learning, where innovation, creativity, and Islamic values are beautifully combined to nurture well-rounded future leaders. Beyond education, Dr. Nousheen has successfully founded and led multiple ventures in the UK, Pakistan, and beyond, mentoring youth and empowered them with entrepreneurial and real-world skills. She is not only an accomplished educationist and entrepreneur, but also a mentor, motivational speaker, and role model who believes in creating opportunities and inspiring positive change. Please join me in warmly welcome Dr. Nousheen Zakaria. To have more information about our university, you can contact us, the chairperson and the vice chairperson, and the email address. You can write us email pakistansc@sc.iou.edu.gm. Let's not wait, and let me give the mic to Dr. Nousheen Zakaria.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khairan kaseera, IOU, the entire faculty, and especially to Dr. Bilal Phillips for your kind invitation for me to, for you to make me feel worthy enough that I can talk about this topic. We were very, we were very happy to have Dr. Bilal Phillips come to our school, Sidr School, mashallah, last 2 months back, and mashallah, we look forward to having more collaborations with IOU. It's such a nice university, mashallah, and the courses that you are doing is really shaping the minds of our ummah. Jazakallah khair for all the hard work that each one of you is doing at IOU. I'm so happy and pleased to see the wonderful programs that you run, and so many people, so many students from around the world are attending IOU for your courses and degrees, mashallah. So coming to the topic, mashallah, it's a very important topic, and my experience of running the school has been for only 2 years. However, I have been a tech entrepreneur for the last 15, 16 years. And in my 2 years of experience of running the school and also being a mother, I think I can shed a lot more light on why parental involvement is very important and how it can help raise our children, which can do so well for our ummah, inshallah. So I would like to share my slides with you. One second, I'll just see if I can share my screen. Can you all see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay, so today's topic is about the importance of parental involvement in students' Islamic education. I think parents' involvement is not just important for the Islamic education of the child, but absolutely important in every aspect of the child's well being. In my school, for example, in Sidr school, we don't call our school as an Islamic school because we believe that Islam is a way of life. And we do believe that Islam should be integrated in all aspects of your upbringing, of your education. We should not be secluding Islam from our everyday value system. So it's very important, first of all, that the parents realize the importance of the deen. First, they have deen embedded in their hearts, and then they follow the techniques that Islam has actually taught us into the parental aspects. We have also seen, I mean, just this is just to give you an overview. When we are dealing with small children, so in my school, for example, we have children starting from 2.5 years to grade 4 at the moment. From 2.5 years to 7 years, anyway, it is a developmental phase of the child. About 90% of the brain, I think, is made already or developed already by the child is already 5 years old. So that is the time when the child is mostly at home. And if we are involved with the children at a young age, which are not going to school, whatever we do, however we do it, impacts each child in everything that is reflected throughout their life. So, if, for example, the child sees that there is something going on in the house, they will absorb that. If the child sees that there's something good going on in the house, they will absorb that. Many a times, for example, we have seen young children, maybe they are 1 year old, 2 year old, they see their mom praying the namaz, praying the salah, and they start replicating without even knowing what the mother is doing. You know, they don't know the meaning of namaz, but they do know, they do understand that the azan has been said and now it's time for prayer, and they do try and replicate whatever the parents are doing. So actually the children are like sponges. Whatever we put in during the initial years, they keep soaking it. They keep soaking it. So now I would like to quote a reference from Quran, which the translation of which is, "O you who believed, protect yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones, over which are appointed angels, harsh and severe. They do not disobey Allah in what He commands them, but do what they are commanded." I think this is a very important surah, a very important ayah, which means that we have to protect our families. And many a times in the Quran, Allah has said that Allah has made you a shepherd over your family. So our job as parents, as moms and dad, is to protect our family from all the fitna, from all the negativity that is going around, and to provide a safe home, a safe shelter to our children so that they can be nurtured, they can be guided, and they can lead their lives accordingly. So, why parental involvement really matters? Parental involvement, like I said, matters because parents are the first teachers of faith and value. Whatever you are saying to the child in those initial years, even afterwards, matters to them. Many a times, it just doesn't mean that the parent is sitting with the child and doing some homework with them or teaching them ABCs. Your akhlaq, your values, your Islam, your deen, your du'as, everything is picked by the child. Even before the child is born, many a times we have heard that, you know, the child was in the womb of the mother, they'll be reciting Surah Yasin, or they're reading, you know, Surah Rahman, and it reflects on the child. The child, when they're born, the first things, or the tarbiyah that they get in the house is reflected in the personality and in the overall development of the child. So the first teachers of any child are the parents. The first teacher of any child for faith and values is the parent. Secondly, it also lays the foundation of a child's worldview, character, and identity. Now, having a worldview is really important. What is my worldview? Where is it coming from? What is my, pedagogy in that sense? What lens am I using and seeing the world? Many a times, I think in our observation, we have seen whatever you say to others in your house, after a few years, the child is picking up that language. The child is picking up the behavior. The child picks up your character and your identity. A few months back, a couple of months back, I was in Malaysia. So I'll give you this example. It's very, very, I think, very nice. I think maybe some of the people can relate to it. I saw, mashallah, the children were so collective. When you would ask them to recite Surah Fatiha, they would do it together. When you would ask them to recite Surah Nas, even when they were saying Salam, they were so collective. They would say it together. They were so calm and composed. And then I observed the society, and I felt like it's not just the Malaysian children, but even their moms and dads are like that. Their entire structure, their cultural identity is calm, composure, and peace. So you see that reflective in this in the children as well. But if, on the other hand, if the parents, you see them complaining all the time, you see that they're fighting, they're argumentative, and then you see the behavior in the classroom of the child or in any other setting, you realize that all these behaviors are a reflection of the worldview that they have been provided by their families at home. So it is reflective. So as parents, we have a huge responsibility of how we pass those values to our children to make their worldview. And then it creates consistency between home and school learning. Many a times we have seen that the home environment, for example, is extremely religious, but they're sent to a secular school. When they are sent to a secular school, their ideology is very different to what the environment is at home. So the child comes out confusing. Many a times we have also seen that the parents are not very Islamic compliant. They are watching movies at home, they play music at home, but they're sending the child to Islamic school. If they do send the child to Islamic school, that is another thing, that the child is being taught not to listen to music, to follow a certain way, to live a certain way. And then when he's going at home, he's seeing a very different way the parents are behaving and the parents are reflecting. So there needs to be a consistent behavior between the school and the home. In Sidr, what we do is we always call parents for an interview first. We see how close they are to the religion, what values they have at home, how they're speaking to us. Are they on board with us for their child's educational development journey or not? If, for example, we feel that the parents are not on board with us, we don't offer the admission to the child, because we truly believe that as educators, if the parents are not listening to our instructions, there's no way of passing that on to the child as well, because that link with the parent and the child and the school will be broken. And we want to make a cohesive link between the school and the home and the children. So it has to be like a triangle. We have to work together. Fourth thing, children learn more from observation than instruction. What happens at home reinforces or contradicts what's taught in school. So again, we run a Hifz-based school. But if we see that the children are not reciting Quran at home, if they're not sitting at home, that means that the parents are also not sitting at home. Sometimes if we see that the children are not readers, it also means that the parents are not readers. So many a times we have to just sit there, do our thing as parents, and the children will follow our roots, seeing what we are doing, not being told, okay, it's time to study now, sit down and study. Why are you not working at the same time? And manage the time along with the children when they are also having a quiet time. You're also having a quiet time and you're doing your own tasks at that time. So whatever happens in school, when the children goes at home, it has to be a mirror of what the school is doing, and vice versa. So there should not be any contradiction in the way school operates and in the way the children operate at home. I would like to give you another example here. We have seen in our experience that one child, and this is a real example that I'm giving you now, A child was very well settled in a school, and then they were taken out from that school to another school which they didn't wanted to do. The parents did not do any counseling or any discussion on the thoughts of the child. There was no discussion at home, and the child moved away. And then the environment that child was facing in the school was very different, very contradictory in what was happening at home. Even the parents' relationships matter a lot. And afterwards, the child was then, when they started becoming their teen, or then they, the person went into the 20s, became a bipolar. So there are so many things that we need to be careful about when we are thinking on those lines. As small as those things, as small as those aspects, can create a huge impact into the child's personality and developmental stage. So it's extremely important that we as parents are vigilant. We know what we are doing with our development of the child. Again, a key role of parents in Islamic education. So modeling Islamic character is an extremely important characteristic, akhlaq. I have seen in my example that some of the mothers, for example, or parents, when they're sending the child to school, when they are at home, they're talking negatively about the same school. That doesn't model the character that we should be displaying our children. So whatever we are doing, even when we are talking to someone, when we are reflecting about something, we should be at the topmost level of ihsan, of akhlaq, of tawakkul, so that those values will be reported and reflected on in the children. Supporting Quran memorization and reflection at home. This is extremely important. We need to have our children sit with us, sit in a Quran circle, do one surah, one ayah, one page, and do some reflection around that. It really sets the tone for tarbiyah in our children. Then encouraging salah, dhikr, and daily du'as. So these are some things that we can do at home as parents to instill the love for Quran, for Allah, for our deen in our children. So it becomes a habit. Like toothbrushing, when you're toothbrushing is a habit you do every day. Without somebody reminding you, you have to do that. Because it was a habit that was built from the start by your parents, that you have to get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, make your bed. These are some of the things that parents do. Similarly, come for salah, do the zikr, daily du'as. This is something we do every single day. And slowly and gradually, it becomes a part of our child's upbringing, and it stays with them throughout their life because it has become a habit now. And then bridging education with modern Islamic views. So it's extremely important that we are current with the modern education. So Islamic education actually does not mean that you are not modern, you are regressive. Islamic education is actually very current, very modern, but it gives us an anchor, it gives us a support, it gives us rooted in some direction, somewhere. It gives us a moral compass. So while we are educating our children, it's very important that we realize that Islamic education does not mean, Islamic worldview does not mean that we are regressive. It means that we are rooted in our faith. We are listening to the commands of Allah. And why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We are doing that because Allah is a creator, and Allah has sent us a manual in the name of Quran as a book, and then He sent us a human being as well, Prophet Muhammad as a model for the entire humanity, so we can learn from the experiences that he had. So no matter which situation we are in, we can see a living example in the names of our prophets, in the things that they did during their lifetime. And then Quran gives us a root, a value, and a tradition to follow. A book that cannot be changed. So it's very important nowadays to tell our children, for example, because things are changing and we are coming towards a cycle where everything is related to change, everything is related to being current and updated. So the morals of the society keeps changing because of the change that human being has created. But if we stick to the rule book of Allah, that can never change. And that is what we need to do. So 1400 years from now, or 1000 years from now, sorry? Did somebody say something? Okay. So 1400 years from now, or 1,000 years from now or 200 years from now, if you stay with the Quran and the teachings, those teachings will not change with the societal change. So actually, we will still be far ahead from whatever the society might be doing. We are actually seeing the results at the moment. We are seeing that the societies that are changing because they change their environment, because they change their Bible, because they change the laws, the rules of the laws, they are not left with gender. They are becoming binary and non-binary. They don't even believe in becoming a human now. They want to be a cat or a dog or change themselves or do whatever they want. So we need to root ourselves into Islamic worldview. And Islamic worldview is the modern education perspective that we need to instill in our children. That we are not regressive. Our faith does not tell us to be regressive. It actually tells us to think critically. It guides us to question. It guides us to think, which is actually missing from the secular curriculum, because secular curriculum is a positivist curriculum. Our Islamic worldview is a critical realist worldview that we need to adopt and teach our children as well. So I'll move on to the next slide, research and evidence. So studies actually suggest that strong parental involvement perform better academically and spiritually. We have seen many parents in our experience that are always doubting their children. They don't think that the child is unique. They're always comparing their child to their other child, to their own sibling, to their cousin, or to others. It really affects the confidence of the child. But if on the other way, if you are involved in the child's learning experience, if you actually want to know what they're doing, how they're doing, if you sit with them, you counsel them, you appreciate them, and they feel that they're connected to you, they feel they can talk to you about anything in the world, we see that they're more confident, they are more academically sound, and they perform better. So family engagement actually increases the retention of values as well. Actually, in our school, we have a very recent example of, of a girl who's struggling with the attention problem in the school. So she's not interested in doing anything. So we actually traced back that the mother is not giving time at home to this particular child. She's also busy with other children at home as well. So all these little things impact the academic skills of the child, the spiritual skills of the child, the hyperactivity in children that we are seeing. There is a rise of ADHD problems. There is a rise of hyperactivity problems. There is a rise of cases in spectrum issues in children. We see so many children with ADHD. We see so many children who are becoming autistic. It has to do with the value system at home as well. Your parental involvement with children really, really matters a lot, because that is what shapes their entire life. So Allah has given children to us as an amana. We have to really work towards nurturing that amana. And then children are more likely to practice Islam confidently. So if you are a confident Muslim, the children will also feel confident in their Muslim identity, which is very important. And you should be the one to answer all the questions that they have about Islam, because who else the child is going to go to? So you should learn more about Islam so that you can teach them as well. Parenting of the Imam. So we see that the mother's involvement in the case of many Imams, you take Imam Bukhari, Imam Hanbali, they were very important stages of their upbringing, of their involvement, of their tarbiyah, of respect. So these were the manners that were taught from home by their mothers, and then they were reflective in the society. Nowadays, we see that if a mother is there and they're concealing the faults of the child, if they're concealing the faults of the child, that really impacts their behaviors afterwards as well. But if you are honest with them, if you counsel them better, they become a different human being altogether. So we have to be very careful in terms of the language we use in front of the children, in terms of the tarbiyah we display, in terms of akhlaq we display, and how they can take it forward as well. So, in today's perspective, there are lots of challenges that we are facing with children. I mean, obviously, when we were growing up, we used to have like a 15 minutes cartoon on PTV, and then that was the time when we used to go, for for a school after watching that little bit of Pink Panther cartoon, something like that, right? But now, children are subject to a lot of media, a lot of secular curriculum as well. I actually went in one of my classrooms, and I actually was traveling, so some of the new students I didn't get to see them. So as a school founder, I just wanted to say assalamu alaikum to them. And this is grade 2 students. And I went there and I said, assalamu alaikum everyone, do you know me? And they said, yes, we know you. And I was like, how? Where did you see me? This is the first time I'm meeting you. So they said to me, Instagram. So that means that the child was on Instagram. That really like raised my eyebrows, because they know Instagram, they're using Instagram. Are the mothers giving their phones to them? Giving your phone to the child is the worst thing you can do, because you don't know where your child will get to through watching that, that mobile phone. We have seen the research suggests that children under 7 are now being exposed to pornography because of the content they're seeing. Before they reach age 6, they have seen pornography. There are so many things that we see on YouTube. There's so many things we see on social media that are not appropriate for children. Sorry, not I'm not feeling too well today. So many things that we have seen that they were exposed to. Sometimes we give this mobile phone to a child and say, okay, you can watch YouTube, and it's an adult YouTube that they're watching in. Do you know what kind of stuff is going on there on this adult YouTube? Do you know what they can get to? Even forget about the adult YouTube, the kids YouTube as well. So much of secular content. I saw a small cartoon, a very popular cartoon, and they were showing two female pandas getting married. This is subtle tarbiyah that YouTube and all the media is doing for our children. And unfortunately, we don't know what they're watching, what they're playing, who they're speaking to, because we are doing absent parenting. We don't know what our children are up to, what they're watching at home. And then most of the times the parents are putting this on the school. It is not the school, unfortunately, because in the school there is still a very controlled environment. Sometimes the schools also do a lot because there are influences coming in from other children, and how the supports is provided within the school as well. But most of the times we have seen that the content the children are subject to at home is what leads to all majority of the problems that they're getting as well. Hello, can you hear me now? I think I'm stuck.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And then the parents have a very busy life schedule. I think we need to be better parents. We need to take time for them. It cannot be that I have a child and both parents are not seeing the child all day. And you're only coming at home 9 o'clock and somebody else is taking care of the child. As parents, I think we are the ones who are responsible for taking care of our child, no matter how busy we are. Because like I said, this is our amana. I have observed in the UAE and in Arab countries, for example, that the parents are not there. I don't know where they are. They're probably shopping or they're going to work or whatever they are doing. And the children are left with the nannies. And the nannies are doing their own tarbiyah with the children. Most of the times, the nannies are not Muslims as well. Majority, I think 80% of the times in Arab families, when they're hiring a nanny, that nanny is not even a Muslim. So what kind of tarbiyah are we expecting the child to get from that nanny? What kind of tarbiyah are we expecting to get from that caretaker? And what happens? What happens when the caretaker goes away? What happens when the caretaker goes away and the caretaker moves to another job because of a higher pay? So we need to be very careful that this is a child's attachment that we are making with another individual and not us. And I am seeing under my observation that the children that are growing with the nannies, they're more attached to the nannies now than their own parents. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm stuck. It's showing me that I'm stuck on my screen.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. Yeah, excellent. Lack of resources for Islamic parenting. Sorry, can you get some water for me, please? Thank you. So lack of resources for Islamic parenting. Now, Islamic parenting is, becoming a new thing now. I think I don't know why, because we were so much into a secular cycle. But Alhamdulillah, we have people that are now moving towards coming back towards Islam and realizing that Islamic parenting is so important for everyone. But we have a lack of resources. We have a lack of books. We have lack of educational material for children. We have a lack of educational material for parents. How do we parent our children? How do we not hit the child? How do we manage our own anger? We have to break that generational cycle. How do we understand our children more? How do we come close to the deen more? How do we adapt the teachings of our Prophet ﷺ when he was nurturing and he was raising our his own children, and then the Sahaba? How would he talk? How would he say things? So we need to really embed those things in our daily life as well. Sorry. Creative strategies for parents. So we need to have a Islamic routine at home. We need to pray our Quran, pray it on time. We need to have a Quran time. We need to pray on time. Engage in school events and teachers meeting. They're really important. You need to not just ask. I've seen parents that they're asking, how is my child reading? And the reading skill is not developed. How is my child performing in class? Have we asked, is he making better friends? Is he kind to people? Is he kind to his friends? Excuse me, sorry, 1 second. Is he kind to his peers? How is he like as a person? Those are the values that we need to instill in our children, and those need more work than any other academic subject. So yes, we want the child to be a very good doctor, very good engineer, very good, etc., etc. But we need to make the child a good human, a good Muslim first. So if you're not a good Muslim, if you're not following the commands of Allah, you will never be, you will never be a good engineer, a good doctor, because your moral compass will not be there. So we need to have a moral compass there. And then we need to have a Islamic learning environment. We need to immerse our children with good books. I have seen personally as a school founder, as Sidra school founder, we were looking for chapter books for children from 7 years onwards. We don't really have much material there. And the material that we have is coming from the West, and they have all sorts of agendas hidden in them, from LGBTQ to dating to boys to you say it and they have it there. So our children are reading English, but they are reading English with the culture that they have decided in the West. And when we make them exposed to their culture, they want to try it out. So we need to immerse ourselves with Islamic books and Islamic material. And there's a huge gap we have in that. So we have Sidr Productions, and we are working on creating and curating Islamic content for children from 0 years to up to 12 years at the moment, alhamdulillah. Use technology very wisely. So there are a number of Islamic apps, online resources, but we need to be very careful in terms of how our child is using AI, for example. Now the AI is also creating its own duas, its own surahs, So we really need to be careful that if we are connecting the child to the surahs, to the AI, what is it that the child is learning from there, and how is it learning from those platforms as well. Don't boss your children, but rather lead them. Make them feel special and valued by taking advice from them. I think this is something that my father did with me. Even when we were little, and he was into construction, he was a builder. He would always lay out his maps and talk to us, and take our input. It really feels, the children really feel that they're valued. Our Prophet ﷺ as well, he used to talk to children as they were adults. So we need to give them the respect. We need to give them the honor that they need. Just imagine that they will be working. So if we talk to them in a perspective that they're, oh, it's just a child, what does he know? That's not going to work. You need to make them a friend. You need to lead them properly. You need to make them feel special and valued, that their opinion makes sense to you, that their thinking makes sense to you, because otherwise they will not be confident in their entire life. School and parent partnership is extremely important. The teacher in the school needs parent support, and most of the times we have seen that even if the school is identifying a problem to the family, they outright refuse. Oh, this is not the problem that the child is facing. This is not us. This is the school's problem. The sooner you identify the problem, the sooner you accept the problem, the better it is for you. We have also spotted some of the children who are ADHD, or they're on autism or on spectrum. If you have a meeting with a parent, the first thing they do is deny. Oh, this is not the case. And then when we are asking them to get some expert opinion on that, they refuse that as well. So the first thing is that you don't have to think that somebody is going to judge you or the child. You have to think that this is for the benefit of the child. If they have a better path, this is for the benefit of that child. Communication channels. So regular updates, joint activities, and parental workshops are really important in the partnership. So when we host a number of school events in Sidar, we do a number of workshops with parents, we speak to them, and parents should be co-educators as well. We've had children who have come back from a summer break after two months, and they've forgotten grade 2 ones, that they've forgotten to write, they've forgotten to read. So that means that the parents did not actually make any effort at home during those 2 months that they were here. So we need to be very, very careful that we are co-educators with the school and not passive observers. So we do need student involvement. So the school is there for 6 hours, 7 hours, but it doesn't mean that when the child is at home, they can do whatever they want. You still have to lead their way. You have to make their routine. You have to still be a model for them and a guide for them as well. So case examples, family who set joint learning goals for Quran and Seerah, they do pretty well. We have seen the results in children, mashallah, when they do the halakha, that really displays their tarbiyah. They show what their parents are teaching them, and they reflect as well. So sometimes parents feel that whatever we are putting in the sponge, it's not really showing any results. But at one point of time, you will see that everything, all the data that you put into the children, it has really worked really well for the child, and it is reflective as well. Parents using stories and activities to connect Islamic teaching to daily life. So tarbiyah should be an everyday goal for you. There is always going to be right and wrong, don't do this, this is not right, this is not what we do, how we do it. Not being preachy, but also reflecting, role modeling, counseling is extremely important and it has to be a part of their everyday tarbiyah goals, that this is what we have to do. We have to model behavior, we have to tell them stories, we have to tell them the stories of the Sahaba, we have to tell them the stories of the Prophets, and setting their role models so that they flow through that. Community programs where parent volunteer and model learning. So most of the times we need to show them that the things that we do are sadqa jariya as well. So the instillment of knowledge, the instillment of giving back to the community should start from your home. How are we contributing towards the ummah? How are we giving dawah? How are we giving charity? This should be modeled so that it can be reflective into our into our children's everyday life goal. So should not be an afterthought. It should be included into your family structure. It should not be something that you will consider only once in a while in Ramadan, but it should be reflective every single day when you are involved in some voluntary organization, when you are sharing your knowledge with someone, when you are involved with some organization, when you are giving charity, the child will automatically pick that up from you. I was given an example of a pearl, of an oyster. So the oyster, for example, the home is like an oyster. So if you imagine an oyster, it is closed. the shell is closed, and then whatever substitutes it gets, so it gets like a grain of sand inside it, and then all the things that are inside the oyster as well, that slowly and gradually shapes the pearl, and then it comes out. So our analogy should be that we are like that oyster that is holding a small grain of sand and given everything that we have inside that oyster, and slowly and gradually we are also protecting it from the outside environment, and slowly and gradually we shape that pearl. But then at the same time, if the oyster is slightly open, all sorts of things will come inside, and the pearl will not be there. So we need to protect our children like we are an oyster, like a house, and we are raising a pearl inside it so that it can shine for our ummah with the right tarbiyah and the right goals, inshallah. So actionable takeaways for parents: be consistent role models. You have to model your behavior. You cannot be a bad role model for your children. um, we have experienced in our school sometimes that there are parents who are very good role model for their children. When they come in the classroom as well, they've told us stuff, and we be like, mashallah, what tarbiyah they have done. And then sometimes we have seen that the parents, where they are not very present into the children's life, into their daily routines, not talking to them or beating them at home, they become sometimes they have ADHD, they go on spectrum, they have a lot of psychological disorders as well. So may Allah protect us and make us from those who can be good role models for our children. Allocate daily time for Islamic discussion. So this is really important, like, why are we doing this? And sometimes the children nowadays are getting bullied in parks. They are getting bullied, they're getting influence from our masajids as well. They're getting they sometimes get into the bad company as well. How do we make that discussion about our Prophet ﷺ, about role modeling from the Sahabas, from the Seerah, and how do we inculcate those values in our children so that they can learn not from us but also from the Seerah as well? Staying involved in the teachers and the school program is very, very important. Your connection with the school should be the prime goal for you. So whatever the school says to you, listen to it, reflect on it, see what we can do, how we can help, how we can support, be in that partnership with the child as well. Raise children who see Islam as a way of life, not a subject. So like I said, Islam is a way of life. It's not that, oh, we will do math, English, science, social studies, and then, yeah, we will do one subject of deen. That is not correct. We need to see how we are doing, how we are embedding tarbiyah through Islamic pedagogy into science, into English, into mathematics, into every aspect of our life. So Islam should not be just a subject for just the sake of reading Islam, but it should really reflect in all the subjects, in all the tarbiyah that we do as well. So, dua inspiration. Now, finally, we will conclude with the dua. Our Lord, grant us from amongst our wife and offspring to comfort to our eyes and make us an example for the righteous. May Allah accept all our good deeds, inshallah. May Allah help us in raising our next generation. May Allah help us in raising our children who can benefit the ummah, inshallah, and serve our ummah, inshallah. Allahumma ameen. Jazakallah khairan kaseera. I hope you had a good session. Jazakallah khair.
Allahumma ameen. Jazakallah khairan for giving such wonderful session to us. So here I have a question. How can parents bridge the gap between traditional Islamic values and modern societal influences to effectively guide their children?
So I don't know which modern values you are talking about. Can you be a bit specific? Like, can you give me an example of a modern value?
For example, the kids are being influenced from the modern society and things like that. So sometimes it becomes difficult for a parent to, like, because the parents are from another generation and the kids are from another generation. So many kids have problem in this, that our parents are not understanding us because like the Gen Z problems. So you can answer it in general terms.
Yes, so that's a very important question that, when the children are from Gen Z and you're a millennial, how do you interact with the children? So, you know, so I think we need to really role model what we are doing. And like if we follow the moral compass of the Quran and our deen, that should be our prime goal as well. And sorry. So you need to be like friends with them, you need to be open with them, you need to be, you need to let them come into you and talk to you about their problems that they're experiencing or their friends are doing. If you're a parent like, oh, don't come to me, or if you're a parent like, if they say something to you, and you snap back at them, they're never going to tell you the problems that they're facing. So if you are an open parent, keep your ears open, see what they're doing, what they're telling you, respect them, understand them, and they will come and discuss those things with you. And when you are a good role model for them, definitely they are going to listen to you as well. And you need to always tell them the why is it that a certain thing is not allowed in an Islamic household and it could be allowed in another household. So I think if we do that tarbiyah from the initial years, I think it will have a very good bond with the child, and they will listen and they will come back, and they will understand why certain things are not allowed and why certain things are allowed to us.
جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I hope everyone learned a lot from you, and thanks for delivering the session. So let's end it, and that's all I think. Yeah.
Jazakallah khair for having me on this amazing, mashallah, topic, and may Allah help us through this. And I'm very happy to be on board with
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.